like to welcome Eric to the show. Eric has been vaccinated, people, and we have some questions for Mr. Eric. Me and him used to be co-workers back in the day. Back in the day, let's say about 10 years ago. He's a good dude, and I appreciate the fact that he will allow me to ask him some questions because he's been somewhere that I have not been. So the first question, by the way, welcome, Eric. My first question to you was before the vaccine was created, as they were just talking about it, were you actually looking forward to taking it?
Well, first, you said thank you for having me. I definitely have my reservations. Of course, I think like all people have my reservations about it, only because we know the history of people of color getting vaccinated and what they have done, and let's be honest, it's kind of quick for them to come up with vaccine and everything in a short amount of time. So I wasn't necessarily looking forward to it. I wasn't against it. But I wasn't really looking forward to it. But as things progressively gotten worse, I was a little bit more open-minded to it. So, yeah.
Okay, so your mindset kind of changed. Did it change totally after it was created? When you knew that we had one on the market that we were going to start pumping out to people, did your mindset change?
Not necessarily. It didn't change, when they brought it out. I was still skeptical about it. Still had my reservations, but I was reading into some things. Yes, something you're always going to have side effects for any type of thing you put into your body. But as time has progressed, my mind did change, and one of those is it was important for my wife too to be vaccinated.
Oh.
For lack of a better word, she's a hypochondriac. So
Okay.
So if that made her comfortable, I was like, you know what, that makes me comfortable as well. Plus, I'm going to Mexico in like 3 weeks. So I wanted to get vaccinated before I went out there.
So they're allowing that right now, a little bit of international travel.
Oh, they never stopped it.
Oh, well, get out of here. I
It was
did not know that. See,
well, certain countries wouldn't let people from the U.S. in. Like, you couldn't go to Canada. You can go, not for leisure, so they say, for business and for family. But I know people that have gone to Mexico. They've gone overseas. Now, as of the end of February, you have to have a negative COVID test to come back into the country by plane.
okay. Did not know that. You learn something every day. If not, it's a wasted day. So let me ask you another question here. After you were scheduled to get the vaccine, what went through your mind? Were you apprehensive? Were you nervous? Were you scared? Was this the type of thing that you thought you had to pray over? Or you was like, cool?
Can't say, I was a little apprehensive, but I know people that have taken it already. There's a few members of my family. So I got the Johnson&Johnson one. My sister took
One
it
shot?
2 days ago before. Yep, one shot.
Okay.
Sister did
Good for
hers.
you.
My wife, she did it 2 days before me. So I already knew, hey, I'm probably going to get a little sick, but I'm good with that stuff as far as shots. It doesn't bother me. I'm fairly good with pain. They both had pain in their arm. Their head was hurting, joints hurting. My wife, she's still a little tired, like sleepy from it. There are still those side effects of the shots that she's still being affected. But I've been fairly good, so I just went there like, honestly, let's just get this thing over with.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess that pretty much answers my next question. Was did you do a lot of research on your own? I mean, you had your wife to speak to about she was feeling, what she was going through, because firsthand you could see that. But did you do a lot of online research or speak to a lot of people about the shot before you took it?
I did some research before, mainly on the Johnson&Johnson vaccine shot versus the Moderna and the Pfizer one. They have stated that there's less side effects. I like the one-shot deal, one shot, get it over with. With the Johnson&Johnson one, they're saying that there's 100% rate of people not going into the hospital if they do catch COVID. Because, like with all vaccines, there's still a possibility of you getting the illness, the virus, just like the flu, but it subsides the effects of this virus. You probably won't get as sick. You probably won't have the complications of a normal COVID patient. So those things that I look into. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'm not just going to run in there and be the first guinea pig to go and do something.
Yes, you know what? I've spoke on that. I spoke on that many times. I didn't want to be first in line, but I definitely don't want to be last in line. And I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I got all my shots. I want to get, especially I'm in a special situation. Uh, I am one of the few people that you will ever talk to or meet who never had any of the childhood illnesses, never had the mumps, never had the measles, never had the chicken pox. I never had anything. So for me to never have any of those leaves me in a different position than most people. So I make sure that I am vaccinated or against everything. I get pneumonia shots every 5 years. I get flu shots every year. So I'm not definitely not an anti-vaxxer. I have a lot of anti-vaxxers, it seems like, popping up in my family. People who are going to actually fight against getting the vaccine unless their jobs force them. And well, that's on them. I don't want to be around them, to tell you the truth. Now, let's get to
Yeah.
the shot itself. No, go ahead.
No. I definitely feel the same. Like I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'm not going to be. It's funny because I remember when I lived in North Carolina, my daughter, when she was born, my oldest, like the doctor, they just wanted to pump her with all these vaccines in one shot. A couple of days old, and we're like, hold up, we're just going to space this out just a little bit. And the doctor, oh, well, if you're not going to get the vaccine, I can't be your doctor. It's like, no, we're not saying that. We just want to spread it out a little bit, not just pump all these foreign objects into my daughter's body while she's still a couple of days old. That's just
No, that makes sense, man. That's called being a responsible parent. Matter of fact, next week I'm going to do a very special show here on Strange Talk with Doc, where I'm going to talk about some medical things that I've been through and how you can survive and not just roll over to your doctors. You do not, just because you have an illness does not mean that you have to listen to them as though they are God on earth, because they can be wrong. And I had a situation, and I really would like to explain this to people, just in case they've been there or they're living it, that you don't have to do that. Now, let me ask you a question, E. Before you got the vaccine, as you was waiting to be scheduled, were there any special instructions whatsoever? Did they tell you to stop drinking, don't eat certain foods, or anything as far as like restrictions or special instructions? Because this is for me. I would like to know what's out there before I take it.
No, there wasn't any special instructions. I would say it was more of questions as far as have you been in contact with anyone with coronavirus? Have you gotten a test within the past couple of days based on being in contact with someone? That was mainly it. As far as any
Okay.
restrictions, don't eat this, don't drink this before, I don't remember any of that.
Okay. Did you the day of the vaccination, was it a very long process or was it bing bang boom and you was in and out?
You know what? It was going the day of when it was down at the Jacob Javits. So it was maybe about an hour and a half wait being online. From walking in and getting the actual shot, I would say about an hour and a half. But that part right there was really surreal. So I'm not sure if you've been in the Jacob Javits, this big open convention space. I'm not
Car
saying
shows. Come
futuristic
on,
in
man. I'm a
size of
New
it.
Yorker.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I'm a New Yorker. I've been to the car
it,
shows plenty times.
so just being in there, it's like kind of resembles like an airport to me inside right now with the lines and everything snaking through. But I'm waiting online, and it was kind of like surreal because like in the movies, like you're like watching one of these futuristic movies, and there's an apocalypse or something like that, and let's say people do need to go somewhere, and there's this like announcement in the background saying you're doing this for the benefit of your people. Thank you for doing
Yo,
this.
get
And
out
I'm
of
hearing
here.
this in the background, like, well, yeah. So I'm listening. I'm like, wow, like that's a little odd. So that right there, just feels somewhat like being in a movie. But that kind of wears away, and you just like, look, I just want to get this damn shot. Hurry up, because I had to take, mine was at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Get out of here.
If they're
They
doing
give the
shots,
shots.
yeah, yeah,
It's a
uh-huh,
24-hour cycle.
yep, 24-hour cycle. So
See,
it's easier getting the vaccination in later hours as opposed to the daytime hours. So I drove down from where I'm at. It's maybe about a 45-minute drive. Between that, trying to find parking for about a good 15, 20 minutes, and going there. It was about a 2.5 hour process. That
okay,
not
so
include
now,
coming back, driving back home.
see that I learned something again, and I'm sure other people will benefit from this because I didn't even know it was a 24-hour cycle. Now, here's the big question, and I'm going to shut my mouth, but I'm just going to ask you, how did you feel not only after, because I heard that sometimes you have to do a 15-minute wait after you get the shot so they see how it reacts, but how did you feel not just after the shot, but the following days following getting the shot?
So after the shot, I felt fine, just like any shot. And, your arms are a little sore, whatever it is. I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm ready to go. And so I didn't get home to maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock, I would say. That was when I went home, took a shower, and I had to wake up at like 7:30 in the morning because I had a conference call for work at 8 o'clock in the morning with some people in India. So they're in a totally different time schedule, so I could not cancel that. It was a training session. So after maybe like 3-4 hours sleep tops, I'm at work, and I worked the whole day, and I was just exhausted after that. So I was probably tired for the next 2 days, just because of
Do you,
my sleep schedule was just totally off.
do you say that's due to the vaccine or it was because of life, your life, what you just going through work wise?
I'd say just a little bit of both. So, just staying up late, getting a vaccine, and not sleeping. And it did make me somewhat drowsy. It's exhausting, you know. And so I'd say maybe a mixture of both. I wouldn't say necessarily say life. It was just, like I said, taking it at 2 o'clock in the morning, driving back home, getting ready for the next day, waking up early, and then trying to be mentally prepared for work, trying to do some training on some stuff that I had no idea what they were talking about, been working the whole day. So I think I pretty much crashed at like 5:30 in the afternoon, and I took maybe a 3-hour nap, but I don't remember anything. I was just so exhausted.
How do you feel
And I was
today?
fairly, I'm good. My arm's still a little bit sore, but that's about it.
And how long has it been?
I
A
took
week?
it
10
Wednesday.
days? Okay, so we're
No,
talking
3-4 days.
people 4 days? Okay. I mean,
Yeah, 4
you
days. Yeah.
haven't you haven't been it hasn't caused any difference to your bowels or your eating habits or your sleeping habits, your eyesight, your hearing, anything like that.
The one thing I do, I do remember is, and I was telling my wife this last night, right after the shot, after my time was up, so I finally make it back to the car, and I let out the biggest fart in the car, and so I think I've been having like a little bit more gas since the
Okay.
shot.
You know
But
what?
that's about it.
If that's the worst experience that you had, And you know what? Let's be honest, people. Men enjoy passing gas. The worse it is, the better it is. You know what I mean? I mean, we use it as a torture chamber for our women. So I'm sure you wish you could have saved that till you got home. But that sounds good. So just let.
Now, speaking
I'm
for
just
myself,
gonna.
though, my wife,
Mhm.
no, yeah, my wife, she's been having more side effects. But
Mm.
she'll be the first to say she's not good at this stuff. She's been exhausted. She's just been very tired, and her joints, she said, have been aching her. And my sister the same, extremely tired. But I think they're both getting better now. And they both
Okay, that's good to
within about a
hear.
week. Yeah,
Okay, that
but
that is very good to
just
hear. I'm glad to hear that they're doing better.
mhm,
But
thank you.
before I let you go, I have to ask this. On your personal opinion, would you advise people, forget that you're doing it for your people thing, would you, Eric, yourself, advise people to get this shot, avoid this shot, not be scared of this shot? Or, I mean, it's just whatever you feel like saying on it.
I would say don't be scared of the shot. What you're going to do, that's your choice between you and your family. But as someone that has worked in a hospital, and I've been in a room with a patient that has had coronavirus, and this could be a totally different subject, it's serious. It is a real thing. It is a real thing. So if you're not going to be responsible, wear your mask, socially distance, stay home, take the shot. But I've also learned
Okay.
that the people that don't want to take the shot, they're also the anti-maskers. They're also people that
Hmm.
don't believe in it. So,
Yeah.
like, hey,
Yeah, I always ask myself, where are these 520 some odd thousand people? Are they all on vacation, some secret island? No. These people have passed away. And we can blame it to the flu or the cold or car crashes, but that's bullshit. This is real life. Eric, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. It means a lot because you have walked in waters that I have yet to walk in. I'm not on the list yet. We're doing a slow motion down here in North Carolina. Even people who have existing conditions we have not gotten to. So, I mean, I'm kind of confused what's going on down here. Like I said, I haven't even been called, put on a list or anything. And I figured I would have been one of the ones who would have been in. We have doing in levels. I'm not even in level 4. So, I mean, I might not get mines to late April, early May, you know?
you know what? We could talk offline. We could talk offline, and I could tell you how we got the shot.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
All right.
That's not everybody's business
Yep.
at all.
Exactly.
But I do appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule and doing this because you help not just me, you help anybody else who listens. Because if they have not got it, maybe that you be that deciding factor of, you know what? This guy Eric came through it. I'll get through it. And it's for the betterment of not just me, my family, my coworkers, everybody that has to come in contact with me. So, like I said, bro, I thank
Not a
you
problem,
again,
man.
man. Eric, you have a great day, bro.
Same to you. Take care.
Okay, bye.